St. Croix, the largest island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, gets its nickname Twin Cities from Frederiksted in the west and Christiansted in the east. They are as different as the 16 miles that separate them allow. Christiansted is traditionally the seat of development and business, with Frederiksted being the anchor of culture, art, and history, as well as their only cruise ship port. With a rich indigenous history and having lived under the rule of 7 flags, the current being the American, St. Croix is as unique and diverse as it gets.
The 40,000 plus Cruzans and transplants on the island, for all their diversity, are intimately connected. Not the least of these connections is their almost total dependence on the outside world for food. And the solution may come from 2 things that are as distinct as the Twin Cities themselves: farming and startup culture.
We start our journey towards food independence on St. Croix with Summer, founder and ED of the Good Food Coalition. The Good Food Coalition is a nonprofit dedicating to supporting farmers through a vibrant local food economy that also ensures healthy local choices for the community. We met her at the largest baobab tree on the island. What is the significance of this baobab tree?
250 years of stories, 250 years of triumph, 250 years of struggles. For me, when I think about the baobab tree, I think about how it came here from Africa, probably in a slave ship, with people who had no idea where they were going, probably couldn't even speak to each other because they were mixed with different languages, really scared. And somehow I'm standing here. And specifically here on the plaque, it talks about the women who were burned here.
It says, under this tree, some of the women who joined Queen Mary Thomas in the rebellion of 1878 were burned alive.
But they also produced a fire and burnt half of this island down, like for the concept of liberation, for fairness, for justice. Young people, 16 and 17-year-olds, fearless and burgeoning with the desire to realize something different than the life that they were given and willing to leap. And I think about do I have that boldness? And I hope that in my lifetime, with the work that I do, I burn a different fire to honor their sacrifice for me to be here. Because if sugar was part of enslaving us as a people, it still enslaves us as a people in our bodies. I am a type 2 diabetic. I am a 45-year-old woman of color who is a descendant of people who produced sugar, and somehow I am still enslaved to sugar and burdened by it. What do I give the person standing here 175 years or 250 years from now with my little tiny existence that could be 1 inch more liberating?
Wow, I think I got a little bit of a chill.
I had no idea what it means to be an executive director. I kind of happened my way into this situation that I think is my destiny. So it started out just as farm to school, and it was how do we have young people eating more local, more fresh, and using that to support farm businesses and adding more viability. Mm-hmm. It's about procurement, it's about nutrition classes, and it's about school gardens, using school gardens as a tool as education. I see us as a food system vehicle in the Virgin Islands.
St. Croix is quite a bit different than St. Thomas, and certainly St. John is just even capacity to produce food.
So in total, there's 565 farmers in the Virgin Islands. You can say about 300 of those farmers exist on the island of St. Croix. About 30 of them are full-time farmers. So we import 98% of our food. Our goal is helping grow more full-time farmers and figuring out like what is not just the supply chain, but what is the value chain that gets the farmer more money. Farmers aren't profiting. So it's like we have to build not just good food practices, but good purchasing practices.
What are the constraints that you guys have for this to really be what it is that you think it could be?
First and foremost, I'll just lead with it. How do we break the systems that have conditioned us to think a certain way about like what is food, right? Baobab, this is food. A baobab tree has one of the highest vitamin C components in any fruit. But if we don't identify what grows from this tree as food anymore, we have a problem. Second, it is getting our story combined with our nation's story. The average size farm in the Virgin Islands is 15 acres. The average size farm in the Midwest or in the Southeast is like 150 acres or thousands of acres. So the land management practices they use will never work here, but guess what? The land management practices they use in Guam can. Hawaii knows how to get food across water. So instead of pairing us with those people, we need to be paired with each other.
So you are, an advocate for all of this. How do you survive?
What they should tell executive directors is become good at begging. I'm a glorified beggar.
Executive beggar.
I have the honor of stewarding other people's stories. And so there's just a lot of invisibility. What we're trying to do is link back chains right back down to the humans that grow it so people can see how beautiful and diverse and intelligent, passionate about caring for humanity that the person who chooses to be a farmer or food producer is.
Next, we head to Mr. Burton's farm, a no-till organic farm that hasn't used pesticides or machinery for over a decade.
How long have you been farming here?
20 years.
20 years, okay. Wow.
Do people know you as the farmer?
Well, I'll tell you what. In the area over here, I'm called garden man, farmer man. But over on the other end of town, they call me Mr. Burton. So
I wanted to just chip in and talk a little bit about all the cardboard that we're walking on.
why do I use the cardboards? Okay, just look at this area here. What do you see here? What do you see here?
Banana trees.
Yeah, so how long do banana trees take before they produce?
1 year?
Oh, you can say 1 year, 9 months. However, because of the use of the cardboards, you can tell I was able to plant watermelons in here.
Oh,
So
okay.
I grew a field of watermelons just while I was growing these plantains. I never had to do any weed control here at all. Zero, zip. If we look just next door to another field that was planted the same time, that was not given this treatment, you can actually see the difference, It is even discouraging to go clean over there. Now, if you look here, you'll see a higher mortality rate. You'll see smaller plants compared. So come, let's take a little look. Now, it is ever so dry. You go from one extreme of too much water to not enough water. So apart from keeping the moisture in, it kept the grass down, and there were several reasons, plus the microbes, the microorganisms on the ground. When you lift the cardboards up, you can actually see the earthworm casting.
Summer, how are you collaborating here?
So when I saw the cardboards, I remember thinking, oh, this is such a good way to cut down on our paper waste, right?
Recycling.
Yeah, it's even better than recycling because it biodegrades and it builds soil, and soil retention is something that we have a problem with. Soil retention and moisture retention is the answer for climate. When I came here, I was like, okay, Mr. Burton, I'm gonna be harassing you because I wanted to learn. He's been doing this 20 years. He's learned a lot.
I've been doing this 20 years, but all my life.
My goal is to seek to get him resources to continue to do the type of farming that I think should be an example. But right now, he's the support to the food because he's teaching.
You guys know about hygge culture, right?
No.
Well, hygge culture is some kind of science. It's an old science. So people, they put names to everything. But it's simple, having wood underneath rotting.
Oh, I do know this. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but our forefathers used to do that. That is African, whole African thing. We know that when the wood is underneath there, it naturally nourishes the soil. It's decomposing. You can even augment it a little further by burning that wood underneath. And it's good for yams. I'm able to take out excessively big yams, 14, 15 pounds of yams.
Really?
Pulling. Now watch your step, guys. Hold on to this,
Thank you.
It's a mountain of augmented soil. If you look at all this is augmented right around here through. This is the wood and the decomposed hydrocarbons that's going to build up in the soil.
Wow.
That is it. That is it right here. This here is so augmented, it's a fantasy. I wonder if you guys are lucky, man.
Oh,
I'm mad to find my last watermelon in the field. What do you guys think? Summer, you hold this and say press it, but get ripe. We don't show it, it's ripe. I got your red shoes, I got you, man. Come over here.
I got you.
I got you too. And what I have here is a trellis. This has been standing here since the devil was a little boy, you know? Yeah, man, them things. This has been here since the devil was a little boy. This is a more productive area. You can see better coverage here. This area is not now. Look above your head, man. Can you see the passion fruit?
I see all of it. Oh, yeah.
You see all? Wow. Smells good, huh?
Yeah.
How much acres are you on?
5 acres.
And the variety of things that, we didn't see today, right? What comes out of your farm?
Everything, anything. Well, no weed, but...
You're a farmer, a businessman, and an educator.
Farming is business. Make no joke about it, and the more you're educated, the more you can understand, the better you can accomplish. Who's the captain? The red shoe, you man, live met your shoes. I think you come first, man. It's closer to your shoe. Oh, man. Eat the seeds,
Number
right?
2 is always me.
I'll leave some for last.
Cheers.
What is it? Yeah, respect.
Cheers. Cheers.
You guys just lucky.
I feel lucky.
What I hope to do is use his farm as a learning lab.
Right.
And this is a great place to look at no-till, sustainable, regenerative agriculture that's based on economics. So farmers have viable businesses.
A lot of people come and try to, sell me.
Yeah.
I'll promote you. Oh, you're the greatest, this and that, as if I don't know who I am, I'm not professional. They see agriculture as something that people who have run out of their options do. If you call them and say, oh, I'm farming, they'll say, oh, you're in America and you're farming? They won't say, good for you, you can feed yourself, you can feed people, you're doing good. But there's a stigma associated with farming. I eat what I grow. 90% of my food comes from my farm. And even the people on the island, they are not aware of the taste of a local watermelon, until they taste it. I make it my point of view to take some to my school so my children can have a taste. Oh, this is what fresh watermelon tastes like. Then you have to go down to explain to them, hey, this one just came from my farm. But the one you eat in the store, it has been picked 2 months ago, put it under condition. We don't know where it came from, or we don't know which pesticide it was treated with.
You remind me a little bit of a watermelon. A little bit hard on the outside, super sweet on the
Soft
inside.
and sweet on the inside.
No. I'm not like a watermelon. I don't know, maybe a cookie. I'm rough around the edges.
So what does all this have to do with technology? This is the University of the Virgin Islands Research and Technology Park. The RT Park is a private-public partnership focused on bringing tech to and supporting tech in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
The RT Park has partnered with Summer to create a VI virtual farmers market and is currently spearheading a 26-acre mixed-use development program with an emphasis in USVI-centric agricultural development and sustainability. The Good Food Coalition is one of their branded partners on the project.
I sat down with Executive Director Peter Chapman and Manager of Business Intelligence and Marketing Sydney Paul to talk about the importance of tech in St. Croix and across the USVI.
The work that we do is designed to attract businesses and/or help businesses grow and scale so that they can provide, livable wage jobs and good quality of life and all that good stuff. But we also want to attract and help grow those businesses that are equipped to address some of the pressing needs that we have in the territory. So one example is agriculture and food production. The call to action for the RT Park and our team is to help grow companies that can accelerate food production. So one example is a company that we're currently working with that has a process for growing toxin-free root vegetables. And they are going to be the anchor tenant in a large mixed-use project that we're breaking ground on in a few months. That project is called Tech Village, and that sort of reflects the RT Park's disruptive approach to economic development.
Sydney, what is your role at the RT Park?
First and foremost, I feel like I'm a storyteller. I am able to do that through the RT Park with the marketing that I do, because there's so many amazing startups, locally grown startups, companies who are coming in doing really good work that I'm able to get across to our community that there are opportunities in innovation and technology that we don't necessarily think of because of the industries that we're used to, like tourism and oil refining. We should be moving in a different direction to kind of make our territory more resilient.
What was it, Peter, that early in this process here, you decided that was how things had to be?
Yeah, I didn't want to take a model from another city, state, country, or whatever, and just plop it in here. But I do think it's important to learn from what I call leading practices. One of the things that I tried to draw from those experiences is the value of a diverse talent base. And diversity doesn't just mean cultural and racial diversity. It means cross-disciplinary people. Tech, finance, real estate development, marketing, creative enterprises, energy, so forth and so on. Agriculture. But we also wanted to build a diverse client base, companies that we bring in through what we call our mature companies program, and existing companies or entrepreneurs who have some connection to the Virgin Islands. Because you have to attract new investment, but you also have to invest in the talent that exists in your market. And that's how you create, at the end of the day, a sustainable economy, a strong and sustainable economy.
A great example of the way the RT Park facilitates local economic development is their Accelerate VI program. It's a support program to help local companies grow and scale their business in the USVI.
Meet one of Accelerate VI's success stories. Boomerang Eats founders and brothers Khalid and Zaid Salim.
We sat down at a local Frederiksted eatery, Louie and Nachos, to hear about the St. Croix-based food delivery system and app, because how you get your food is just as important as where it comes from.
A lot of times the best solutions, they happen locally. What were y'all trying to solve at Boomerang Eats?
It started out with us wanting to order from our favorite restaurant. So here you would have to call your favorite restaurant like 5-10 times to get through sometimes. And you just become frustrated, and sometimes you're just like, if it doesn't happen on this 11th one, I'm done. So and that's how we got here. So it really originally started with online ordering.
Not humble beginnings, selfish beginnings.
Definitely.
Chicken, leg, and fries from 2 + 2.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
awesome.
You're not interrupting.
Awesome, thank you.
Great. Looks very fresh. You ordered great stuff for us. Thank you, Zaid.
Awesome, thank you. And both of y'all have been around. Both of y'all had a military experience. Both of y'all traveled the world and stuff, but y'all came back home. What does the startup scene look like?
We're really the first startup tech company that originated from the Virgin Islands. Gotcha. Doing anything and being the first is a little bit more difficult.
I was in Hong Kong, you had just left me, and we'd always wanted to do something together. What are the problems that we could solve? And when you have an opportunity, like, why not us? So we're like, okay, now that we had this idea, how do we do it? And we had to find people to do it.
Found a little bit of that network at the RT Park, right?
Mm-hmm. So the RT Park gave us that foundation. Contrary to belief, we actually got rejected our first time.
That makes you stronger.
That it gave us a chip on our shoulder that we well needed, and it gave us that next year to just grind to the point where when we resubmitted the following cohort, they went ahead and we were accepting. It was like a sigh of relief, but we knew that we were ready. We had proven to ourselves that we were ready.
When we rejected, they didn't just throw us away. They worked with us, but they filled in those gaps. Say, hey, this is what you need to do.
A lot of people don't think about the fact that entrepreneurship, it is a process of learning, failing, and then learning more. Was that process for you guys discouraging?
I definitely felt out of place in our earlier meetings, but reflection, I think, through the whole process is key, because you're gonna make mistakes, and it's just knowing that we have to evolve. You're cognizant of you have to evolve.
Right.
Then little by little, you will evolve.
Going into business, as brothers, we're super tight. As partners, we had to learn how to be partners.
Right.
Because we fight like brothers.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
we also have a glue, like our mother, who is in this world, is a great mediator, and like, all right, guys, you love each other. We love each other.
Doesn't change. It doesn't change.
Was any of that, did it come from your parents at all?
We've had two different parents.
I'm about to say, like, he's like 10 years older than me.
Oh,
So-
no, that's obvious.
Yeah. The parents he got, he might tell a different story.
Right, yeah.
Like, so two different parents. The reason I brought it up is because
Yep.
I grew with my grandmother, and my mom worked a lot. My dad worked a lot. You always saw that work ethic, and not like you just had to do it. We weren't rich, so they had to work.
So
Yeah.
I had a lot more room to make mistakes.
I got
Well,
you.
that's what we'll go from the last child's perspective. Mom used to own a bookstore, her and her sister, and my brother and I, we started a business together. So,
Y'all have been all over the world.
yeah.
So why stay?
This is when I got out the military too, I went to live with him, and
Yeah.
Mom called me one day like, you should come back home. People come from around the world every day to move here. Why shouldn't you?
I've been gone for 24 years and just traveling. I was in the military first and traveling teacher, and I've always wanted, like Shangri-La, I always wanted to come back home and just couldn't find a way. And our conversations really sparked where I wanted to be home. Like, when you asked that question, I was gonna say, just look at that sunset right there. Know everybody, one of my classmates are here eating lunch, and you say, hey, what's going on? You see everybody, the love is there always.
One of the best advices I always had is you make your mama proud.
Yes.
Definitely, and it helps too, guys. We're 8th generation Virgin Islanders.
It's also the fact that you guys have access. Everybody seems to have access.
I think the access is something that's pretty much underrated here, because we have a lot of talent here, a lot of people that do a lot of things. And once you're in that network, you're like, oh, you do this? And the ability to ask someone a quick question, is be like, so what's your expertise on this? That will take us a long way, because that's something in the States you have to go search out.
Sure, people can complain, it's easy to complain, than saying, hey, I have a dream, let me try it, search out. Like you said, you can rub elbows with all kinds of people. You just gotta kind of have that drive to say, I wanna do this. And St. Croix is that perfect place. That small town really helps out as far as this accomplishing your dreams. You just have to drive to these. You have to have that drive.
Well, thanks again for everything. This is awesome. Thank you guys. Best of luck on the ring.
Very much. Mama
Cheers.
take us.
Can you do that already?
Can you do it now?
Do it now.
All right.
Mama done. Good days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The future of St. Croix holds many challenges, but the closer the solutions start to home, the closer they are to success from the get-go. We can't wait to see what's next as the old world of farming meets the cutting edge of tech.
The partnerships, forged across cultures and disciplines, are the key to a healthier, more independent, and sustainable St. Croix for Cruzians, tourists, and transplants alike.